Welcome to Zanieza YouTube channel. I am Charles Kishi, the founder. How is everyone today? Today is a fantastic day. We have a special guest. I am really looking forward to this interview. It's been, I should say, weeks in the working. Our guest today has seen the world, literally. He has seen the world. Um, in he's been in so many countries and in so many cities. It's not just a country, and you just all the continents you can see. I am uber excited, and it's not just him and his family. And I hope you have all your questions ready so that we can ask him. This is your chance to meet the one and only Mark. And today we'll be talking about the culture in Rwanda, of course, because Rwanda is where Zaniheza is, but we are also looking forward to grow in many places in Africa and why not the world. So as you come in, I hope you are getting your question ready, and as you join us, please say hello in the chat. If it's your first time to join us, just tell us where you are, which country, which city, and tell us the time the time that it is. I am in Vancouver. It's a beautiful day. I can see some snow. It's cold. And really, this is just gonna be a fantastic day, and we will have an amazing talk about travel and about the culture. We will talk about Rwanda. I am just super excited. And I can see some questions coming. And anyone who has not um, joined us yet, please hit that subscribe button and join the Zaniheza community that is growing quite fast, and you can see what we have for Rwanda. Zaniheza aims to enrich travel experiences through culture, travel, and technology. And we have many other services we have within Zaniheza. We are in the pandemic still, and the tourism is not doing quite well, unfortunately. However, we are hopeful that the world will travel again, or the world is already traveling again. So to the new viewers, welcome. You are very much welcome to our channel. Yes, I see someone in San Diego. Hello. Thank you. I can see some new viewers. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I will invite Mark to join me and we'll get the conversation started. Here we go. Hello,
Hey,
Mark.
how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I'm just going to have you in full view right now so that you can introduce to the viewers who is, or should we say, is it Professor Mark or just
Just
Mark?
Mark. Just Mark is fine. I've been called many things in my life, so
All
whatever
right.
you want to call me is fine.
Much welcome. I think this is the time where you tell us what else you do other than the many beautiful travels around the world.
Sure. So I'm Mark Wolters. I run Wolters World, which is a travel YouTube channel. I also have Professor Wolters, which is a marketing and business education site. So for small businesses or to medium-sized businesses, they want to learn about social media. They can learn from that. We also have Simply Jocelyn, which is a cooking and culture channel as well that my wife runs. And we have some other fun stuff out there. And then my day job, which some people think YouTube will pay the bills. It doesn't. Day job, I'm actually a professor at the University of Illinois in the U.S. So lots of good stuff, and yeah, and our whole family likes to travel. I got to say, my oldest son and my wife fight over who gets to go to Rwanda again first, because my wife wants to go with some of her girlfriends and go for a girls' trip there, and my oldest son is like, "No, I'm going with you. I'm going first." She's like, "Hell no, I'm going with my friends. We'll go later." So So there's a little fight in our house who gets to go to Rwanda first again, or second for the second time. So
Thank you for that really warm and really cool intro. How is the family, by the way? How is Jocelyn? How are the sons? How are they?
the kids are going crazy. They're not like an online. We're online schooling because the schools haven't opened up here. So both the kids they don't really like the online schooling. They miss being with other kids, just like we miss being with people. It's so that's been tough. But otherwise, we're all healthy. I can't complain about that. Jocelyn is out and about doing things, and I'm here with you, Charles. So everything's good.
I hope that Jocelyn can also join us at some point. Because I know how she has this passion for Rwanda.
Yeah.
And
So forever she wanted to go to Rwanda forever. Like Rwanda and Bhutan were the two countries she's like, we have to go, we have to go, we have to go. And we got the chance to go in 2019 to Rwanda, and it was just incredible. And the kids are like, can we go back? Can we go back? Can we go back? So there's that. And I do want to answer. James Gregory had a question from before.
yes.
James wondered if you can get by with English. Yes, in Rwanda you can. French used to be one of the official language, but now it's English. And so you'll do James. You'll do fine. We did fine. Kids did fine. People were awesome. People will come up and practice. If it's not their native tongue, you'll be fine. You'll have a great time. The people are so outgoing, and it's coming to shocking. You're not expecting like, oh hey, like everywhere we went, people were friendly, fun. It was a good time. It was a good time. And when people would see our kids, they'd freak out. They're like, "Oh my God, tourist children! What's up?" So,
Yes, that is true. I mean, to the viewers, I mean, I am from Rwanda and I am fluent in English, and my team is also in Rwanda. So, if you do travel to Rwanda, obviously Zaniheza is the one to call, and we will take care of every step of the way. Now, before we dive into Rwanda,
mhm.
for those who follow you and for those who are going to be following you, because now I have one of my viewer here, Joyce, who's going to be following you soon.
Thank you.
I am very curious. There's the very first video of you with the funky hair.
Hey, don't be joking about the hair, my friend.
So,
Yeah, we all were young at one time.
yes. Hey, look at me.
I know. I see. You have a little silver in there too.
Yes, like the silverbacks.
Yeah.
So, when you started your YouTube journey,
Mhm.
did you set out to do the traveling? In the beginning, what was the process?
Well,
Did you?
well, we were already traveling. I was just getting really frustrated with like a lot of travel blogs and guidebooks were just. I mean, they would tell you only the good stuff, right? They wouldn't like the stuff you need to know. They didn't tell you. They just say this is the greatest place ever, and that was it. I'm like, there are amazing places, but there's some things you should know. Like James is asking about cash versus credit card in Rwanda. Well, you're going to need cash, okay? Like if no one tells you that, you're going to have a problem, right? And so we really started to want to just help people travel better, and it kind of grew from like just showing people what it's like, and it grew and grew and grew and grew, and now it's kind of like a passion. I mean, I want to give people honest advice wherever we go, but whatever we do. And so all of our channels, from cooking to travel to business, it's honest advice from our experiences. So,
And so far you have been to 90 countries, I assume.
no, I've only been to 70. I was like 90. I wish.
90.
If there would not have been the pandemic last year, I would have gotten to 90, and my kids would have been about 70 now. But sadly,
Well,
the
but
pandemic.
it is quite a huge number.
Yeah. No,
Um,
we've been blessed. I can't. I have no complaints in life that we've been blessed. So.
all right. I see a question here. That's the one you're kind of mentioning. I guess he's kind of wondering about the sort of cash and the credit. Do you want to take that question?
Well, our experiences were there were like we could get to ATMs, or we'd ask our driver or some of the we could get to an ATM in the bigger city. Like Kigali wasn't a problem, but we were by the the Volcano National Park, and we had to go someplace to get cash. But it was good to have cash because you're going to be paying cash most places. Also, especially if you're going to be tipping, like when you go to if you stay at a hotel or someplace, there's like a tip box, and so you just put the cash in there, so you don't have to give it to individual people. You just give the cash into the cash box, and it gets shared that way. It's definitely a more cash-based society. But what's cool is not like when you go some places and you're worried, like, oh my God, is someone going to rob me of my cash? Rwanda was so safe that you're not worried about it. And that's one thing we loved about it. Is like we can just chill.
Yes.
It was wonderful.
No, I mean, speaking about chilling and so on, I just want to roll a small clip of you and Jocelyn in Rwanda.
Sure.
Where you talked about you have in your clips, you have one where you mentioned about the 8 mistakes the tourists make when they visit Rwanda. And I prepared this clip here. I'm just gonna bring it in, and we can see what you're saying about the mistakes.
This kind of leads into probably the biggest mistake people make when they think of Rwanda.
And the biggest mistake is thinking that Rwanda isn't safe. Rwanda is the safest country in Africa, and
the capital, Kigali, is one of the safest capitals in the world.
And I'm going to tell you, nowhere have we been that I felt uncomfortable or unsafe. I mean, we do our normal travel safety, just be aware and things like that. But I've never felt threatened or like anything was ever going to happen to us. And actually, I know for a fact that this place is significantly safer than where we actually live.
Yes.
That means something to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not only is it safe, you are welcome, and people will make you feel welcome. If people are waved, they'll light up and start a conversation up.
And Jocelyn made this mistake. Remember, this is waving at people here. If you do this, it means come here. So that's a mistake. Do this. You have tons of people come to say hi. Yeah. Another mistake we've seen that a lot of times the lodges still cook along like
that was so funny because Jocelyn was doing this all the time. So all the people would come over, and she's like, "Why do everyone keep coming?" And our guy's like, he's like, because this means come here. She's like, oh. But we met a lot of really nice people that way, so it all worked out. But it was pretty funny.
No, it was. But I just want to go back to what you just said, that this place felt significantly safer than where I'm from.
Yeah.
That's a pretty huge statement because you're from the USA. Now, just tell us the truth. Did the government of Rwanda pay you to say all those beautiful things?
No, the government of Rwanda did not pay us to do anything. I don't. Sadly, they have not invited us back, or they didn't invite us. We went on our own the first time. No, we that was all our own stuff.
Because that's what people may say. It's like this guy from the USA goes to Rwanda and suddenly he's making all these beautiful videos and how safe it is and everything else that I know. So
we had a few comments about that. That people were like, "Oh, did you get paid to do this?" I'm like, "No, we don't get paid to go places. We go places. We spend our own money to do it, so that we can say the good and the bad and not feel like, well, I got to say it's good because they paid me. No, I paid my own money to do all these things, and we enjoyed it. So." Can't complain.
Now, so take me back. Before you went to Rwanda, okay, what was your review of the country, or what had you heard about the country? What was the perception before you went, and how did you come to discover Rwanda? So that's like two questions. Yeah.
So we were watching a show called Travel Scope with Joseph Rosendo. He's PBS. He's on our PBS channel here, and he went to Rwanda. I mean, this has been years ago. He went probably 7 or 8 years ago. We saw the video when he went, and it had come up a few times. I remember we were laying in bed watching it, and I'm like, my God, that looks amazing. And he went to all the places we went, and he was, he's very much, look, you got to go do things on your own, which we've always said. And the only thing, sadly, what everyone knows about Rwanda is the genocide from '94. And so for me, I'm thinking of the genocide, and he's like, look, this is it's this different. At the time it was like 20 years ago, right? And it's
Mm.
like, look what they've done and they've shown, and wow, they've come together, and come through all this, and it kind of inspired us to go. And we're trying to think about going. We knew about the gorillas, and we knew, we're like, okay, we're going to go gorillas, and we're going to go see some other, do some other things, and otherwise we didn't really know a lot. Like, there wasn't a lot of information on Rwanda out there. And like, even looking at guidebooks, looking online, there just wasn't a ton of information. So going in there, like, we weren't even sure what to expect. Like, trying to figure out what was Rwandan food. There's this one, it's like banana and peanuts, and it's like it's like orange sauce with it. It's just phenomenal. Oh my God, the food. If you're not vegetarian, go to Rwanda, you'll become vegetarian, because the vegetarian food is fantastic. But we didn't know. And so when we went there, it was, what was awesome, it was finally going to a place that I didn't know pretty much everything before I got there. It was like, honestly, like, all the shocks, all the don'ts, all the mistakes, all the, like, with video we did on safety and things. I still have to put out the don'ts of Rwanda, though. But it was like everything was new. And it was like one of these, like, look, I've got goosebumps. Can you see them? I got goosebumps thinking about it, because it's like, heck yeah, this is like, I haven't seen these before. And that's why I was really happy that I got to make those videos, because then people could see like what it's like to get there. Because I mean, we talked to a lot of we were like the Volcanoes National Park, and we were talking to people there, and the workers were like, yeah, a lot of people, they literally fly in, go see the gorillas, come back, fly out. Like, they never stay and see Rwanda and meet the people, because they think genocide. And after we were there, I mean, honestly, after a day, I still remember we came out of Kigali, the airport, and we came out and we're going to our hotel. And I'm like, it was like a Friday night. And I'm like, all the streets are so clean. Like, you can eat off the streets. Like I don't even eat off my driveway, let alone the streets. And it was just like, it was amazing. So then we started talking to people, and they're like, oh yeah, was it the last Saturday of every month? People go out and pick up and have. I'm like, wow. It was just like, that's kind of cool. And then we would just keep meeting more people and more people and more people, and it really became a really, like, life-changing experience of like, this is cool. And we had a wonderful guide who, like, we were like, hey, we would like the kids to try to meet some local kids, and so he would take us, like, hey, there's a village over here, we can go play soccer. So we're giving, we had soccer balls, we gave them away. It's like, we play, and so it was a really good thing.
Yes, and now you kind of also answered. You see, I had to prepare my notes. I usually don't write my notes, but now let me just take a question from one of the viewer we have here. His name is Kanyoni, because I think he's dying to know, how do you know each other? Let me just say that I am a big fan. Anyone who's been to Rwanda and has shown the passion for the country and the continent immediately becomes a friend of mine in my books. And then hopefully the universe gets us together somehow.
And it has.
Yes, it has. And this is quite a fantastic journey, and I can see the passion you feel for Rwanda, and why not many countries in the continent. So you are making my job easy. Because
thank you. I'm glad I can help.
I am from Rwanda, so by nature they say, wow, but he is Rwandan, he's biased. Although I left at 16 during the genocide against the Tutsi, and it took me 24 years to go back because of what I saw. And that's one of the good things you mentioned in your video, where people think of Rwanda, they think about the genocide and they think about the gorillas.
Yeah.
And they don't really
that's
make
it.
Yeah.
And that's what I think about.
And when I first saw your YouTube, the one that really stood with me is seeing you boys playing football with the locals. And I was like, it's not just a superficial visit. You really went in there, as you were saying, and you met the locals, and you had the.
What was cool is those boys that my son and I think it's a couple girls there, but the kids they were playing soccer or football with, at the end of the game, we're like, hey, we want you guys to have the ball. It's a Vancouver Whitecaps ball, by the way.
Oh,
see, We were meant to meet each other.
Yes.
Hey, and the kids were like, well, we're going to give the ball to the mayor. And so they had the mayor come down, and they want because they didn't want any one kid to have the ball and have like the who gets to play or whatever. So they gave it to the mayor. And so when the kids want to play, they go see the mayor and he give them the ball. It was like I was like, dang, those are some good kids. Like my kids are like, no, I want the ball. No, I want the ball. And they're like, no, we'll give it to the mayor, and then we all can play with it. Now I was just so impressed. I'm like, and those kids, oh my God, the kids my kids were playing with, some of them, I mean, they had like rockets for kicks. I'm like, oh, I'm glad I'm not playing because that kid's gonna hurt me.
Yeah. You know, um, wow, we have so much to say. Speaking about what you do, what makes you unique that I have not seen is you travel with your family and you travel with your young sons, and you took them to Rwanda, to Africa. I have trouble to convince people to go to Africa, but you took your whole family, even I think your mom and dad. You took the whole.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mom and dad were there too. That's right.
I
Yeah,
hope
we all went. We all went. I mean,
you.
I know for me, people sometimes people say, like, "How do you travel with your kids? How are they going to be okay when they travel?" I'm like, "Hey, guess what? They have kids in Rwanda. They have kids in Germany. They have kids in Brazil. You'll be okay." You're like, it's funny because I'll have people that are like, "Are there doctors? Do they have food?" What I'm like, I mean, and this is anywhere. I'm like, yeah, you'll be fine. Like we've been making babies for quite a long time on this planet. Okay, like everybody will be fine. So it's kind of funny, and so for me, I mean, I love traveling and I love taking my kids, and if I travel someplace and I don't take my kids, I actually feel bad because it's like, oh, I wish they were here. And sometimes, I mean, they're in school now, and my oldest, he's in 8th grade, and so pretty soon he has high school, and he can't travel like he has before. And it's like sometimes I got to travel by myself, and I'm like, oh man, like after my wife knows, like I leave, I'll probably call her from like the second airport. I miss you guys. And like the second day, I wish you guys were here. She's like, oh, shut up and go enjoy yourself.
I have a comment here from one of the viewers here. This is more for you. Yeah, great, stressful tutorial of what you should know about traveling, but still preserve the mystery of the country. That is true. I agree with that. When we visit your sort of your travel, I like how you focus on the topics. Like there's one with the traveling with the kids. There is the do and as well the don'ts. So your travel videos, they are very, very, very nice to follow, informative as well. As you say, you aim to enrich through honest travel. Which, by the way, I did not borrow from you because I saw that because I was like, with Zaniheza, we aim to as well enrich through culture. So that was kind of a coincidence.
Well, and that's the thing because we've talked. I mean, for those who know, we've actually been talking for what, like 3 or 4 months now, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah, and so you finally asked me on. Thank you.
Thank you.
And no, it's one of those things. Is I don't like filming everything we do because I want to go do it, and I feel bad for people that were like the whole time they're holding their camera doing stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'll take 10-second video here, 10-second video there, but I'm like, you know what? Let's go do this, kids, and then I'll talk about it because I want to help people get there, know what to expect, and then you know what? You go experience that, and you have a good time, and that's what I go for, and that's what's cool. It comes through the videos. Oh, Kenyoni, did I say that right?
Yes. I'm just gonna bring some questions that I see here. We have some really, really good questions.
Kenyoni is one of my parents. Can you bring that one up?
Sorry.
Kenyoni is about how did his parents feel about the experience in Rwanda?
Yes.
So I went with my parents. They were both in their 70s. And my parents, saw my parents 2 weeks ago, and my dad is like, we need to go back. That was the best, because we went to Rwanda and Tanzania. And he's like, that was the best trip we've ever taken as a family. And we travel a lot together. Like we travel a lot together as a family. Usually we do 1 or 2 international trips a year, as just like with grandparents, us, and the grandkids. And they said like that was the best. Like the place we stayed, the food we had, the guides we had, the stuff we saw, like they were just so impressed with it all. And so they loved it. Like they'll go back. Like my mom was like, well, I'm like, Mom, you just got your vaccine. I'm like 6 months away before they get to my age group. So like, calm down. Calm down.
Yeah. Ready to go. Let's just go to Rwanda.
I know, like, you know, she's like, well, I'd like you guys to go with us. I'm like, we'd like to go too, but you know, it's going to be a while till we can go. So yeah, so they loved it. Everybody loved it. I mean, it was just such a nice experience, and it's funny because like we would go do stuff there all day long, go see things, and then we'd come back. And the place we stayed, you know, had their restaurant in the you know the place, and sometimes we'd eat out, and sometimes we'd eat in the hotel, and we sit at the bar and we just talk to we talk to the bartender, we talk to the other guides that would come in, we talk to the employees. I mean, I don't know if I have any of the videos of it, but like my sons would go play soccer with like the employees because there'd be like, you know, a grassy patch, you know, and they'd be done with their work for the day. And it's like, hey, time to check off. And so they come out, and we just have a soccer match out there, or a football match out there, and just chat with people. And, you know, I'm fat and out of shape. So after about 15 minutes, I would stand on the side and the other husky guys would come off and we'd chat. And the healthy young people would keep going.
Yes, and you definitely have the clip where your sons are playing. I'm just gonna bring another question from Kanyoni. He seems to be, and any other viewers who have any questions, anyone who just joined us as well, thank you, welcome to our chat with Mark Wolters, and join the family as well if you have not joined. We are Zanieza. Mark, go ahead. That's the question for you.
So I think my favorite experience was the first time we drove by a school. And so we were going by, you know, we're in our, you know, like van kind of thing. And so it's like, I'm sitting up front with the driver, and then my mom and dad, and then in the back are my 2 boys, my wife, and the boys are on the window. And so the people would see us and they'd wave, they'd see me in the front. Oh, look, fat tourists. Okay. And then they'd see my parents like, oh, old people tourists. And then they'd be like, they'd see our kids and go, and they start screaming and they like yell for everybody to come. Like, look, there's children. Look. So that was like the most shocking experience. We were there is like how happy they were to see that there were actually tourist kids coming to see stuff. Because you know, we talked, they're like, yeah, they see tourists, but they don't see kids. They don't see tourist kids. So that was kind of a big thing. So that was what was kind of fun to see. That was they're like, oh my God, you brought your kids. Like you were saying, like, oh my God, you brought your kids. You know, that was really fun. And then, I mean, it was just so cool. We met a lot of kids. I mean, meeting the kids and meeting everybody we met. It was just the people is what made that trip. I mean, it was, don't get me wrong, it was gorgeous. God, it's gorgeous, especially when you go where the grills are and the mountain. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. You can go see the Big Five if you want to go see, you know, the animals. But I mean, number one, people by far. That was what for me was just the best.
I mean, thank you. I am glad that you mentioned that, because when I was thinking about starting Zanieza, for me it was, well, the beauty of the country. And like I've been to Hawaii. I love Hawaii. So the beauty of Hawaii, you can show that in a poster. You can look at the poster and look at the picture, look at the ocean and say, wow, I want to go to that place.
The volcanoes and the waterfalls.
Yes. The beauty of Rwanda, as much as you can look at the picture, it's mostly felt when you are there.
Yeah.
The morning.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. I agree. And so when I was putting together our Rwanda videos, I'm like, I've got all these people walking out the street and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, but that doesn't show like how nice the people are. Like I felt bad. I'm like, how do I show that's why I always have like the kids playing soccer, because I thought that was a good way of showing, because occasionally you'll see like my parents and some of the locals talking and us talking. And I'm like, man, I wish I would have more of us like together stuff. But you know, you're sitting there talking to people. I'm like, I don't want to pull out my camera. Hey, can I film us talking? It's like, that's kind of weird.
So. It looks like we have someone who has, are you from Israel? If I look at that writing, if you are from Israel, let me tell you, in December, you can now fly directly to Rwanda. There is a flight, yes. And when I was there, I mean, actually, right before I left, now we had many tourists coming from there in Israel, and that was actually nice to see. About more than 70 of them came. And they were supposed to come, yeah, every week, and that was really cool because when we felt that the whole world had stopped traveling, and they had tourists coming from Israel, and I, with Zanheza, with my small tour operator company, I was really clapping my hands.
That's cool. That's awesome. Well, for me, yeah, like friendliest and nicest people, man. You can meet friendly people anywhere, and you can meet some real jerks everywhere. Some places that really stand out for me, like different things. Rwanda, the people were super friendly, like just super friendly people there. I find Italians to be super friendly, but like Italians, you have to be ready for Italian friendliness, especially if I speak some Italian, so they're like, oh, and it just the mamas and the grandmas and stuff. Um, who else is really nice? Nicaragua, I found the people really nice there. Brazil, the people were like crazy friendly, like crazy friendly fun. But then you'll be nice, and it's weird. Like some places you'll go, like China has this reputation of not being friendly. But if you got a small group of people are like, oh, I want to talk to you, I want to meet you. And I can't tell you times when I was in China, like I have a big fat belly. I can't tell. People would stop in the street. They'd look at me. They get their camera out and they'd be like, this. I'm like, sure. They're like, oh, and they come over, they get their friend, and then they look, and then they look down at my belly, and I'm like, you can. I'm like, you can. Like, and so they have one hand, they rub my belly on the other one, and they were so happy and friendly about it. So you can meet friendly, nice people anywhere, and I've met friendly, nice people everywhere, and I've met some jerks everywhere too. So, but in general, I think that's one of the things we don't realize is there's good people all over the world. Like there's good people. So that's one of the things that's nice.
Yes, when you're pointing at your belly, I was thinking probably now it's slowly changing, but in Rwanda, in our culture, someone with your stature, that means they are well off. You see, it is a good thing.
Yeah, they did tell me that when I was there. They're like, you're really well off. I'm like, well, I wish. Yeah, sure.
Yes, because in addition to that is what I really love whenever I go back home is by nature there are no perceptions or there's no judgmentals. You are just a person, and you really feel that you are just a human being, no matter your creed. And did you feel the same way when you were in Rwanda and visiting people? Like, did you at any point feel like because you are a Muzungu, which means white, like, that was pointed out?
When we go to some malls and stuff, like we left one of our we were traveling in Europe. I was teaching in Europe, and we left a lot of our stuff there, and we left all the boys' underwear in Amsterdam. Yeah. So the kids needed underwear. So we're like, hey, can we go get some underwear for the kids? And so we go to one of the malls in Kigali, and it's funny because everyone stops and just looks at us. And they're like, oh, and it's funny because they're like, oh, and they went back to work. But that was it. There was never any like nothing that was like, oh, except for the kids at the schools when they saw when I saw our sons. That was the only time.
And again, are you sure the government did not pay you RDB, the Rwandan Development Board?
I will check my bank account now. No, I did not get paid or anything. And that's what I love about. That's one thing I love about making our travel videos is since we do everything, we pay for all our stuff ourselves and do all that. It makes it easier for me to be excited about something and be like, hey, I really enjoyed that. Or I can be like, you know what, I won't go back to certain places. And that's what's nice about it because I know you're joking with me like, oh, did the government pay you to say that? But some people, like, they really did get paid and they do say these things. And that's why I always laugh. I always make this joke because there's this one travel couple that I knew, and they would always say, this is my favorite city in the world, everywhere they go. And it was always a place that they got paid to go to. And I'm like, you can't do that. You can't do that. I mean, they could because they got paid for it. So
Yeah, and whenever that happens, also that is nice. I mean, because being a YouTuber, I am a new kid on the block. However, there is a lot of work involved in producing a video, especially
yes.
quality video, sound, images, filming, editing. How do you do that and combined with traveling the kids, all that?
So I don't sleep very much. Like the rest of my day will be this. We'll have our thing here, and then I'm going to do some stuff with the kids, and then when it's time for them to go to bed, I will come back to my office and I will edit tomorrow's video. Excuse me, which is I think the 511 hates of going to the Shetland Islands in Scotland. It's like I gotta do this, and then tomorrow I'll get up in the morning. I gotta make another video for my wife's channel, and I gotta make video for because I've got a new semester starting. I make videos for my students, so it's like a never-ending thing. So, and you know how it is. It's a lot of work to do these, and that's one of the things is sometimes you're like, oh, I'm so tired. I just want a day off. I'm like, nah, because we've done at least 2 videos a week every Wednesday and Saturday since 2014, and we've been doing this since 2009. And it's like, no, I got to do it. Because I feel like if I don't do it once, then I'll just find other excuses. Like I got to do it. But sometimes, that's what I like about the lives like this is sometimes it's fun just to do a live. Like, you know what? I'm not going to do a video tomorrow. We're just going to go live and we'll talk about that and we'll have some fun. And it works out just great. Because then, it's like, because you never know when your kids want to do something or your dog is barking outside the door. So my dog does not like when I come into my office and shut the door. He's like, why won't you let me in?
Yeah.
Of course, my kids aren't letting them out because they're probably playing Xbox or something, and so they're like, I can't stop my game. I'm like, come on. So
The life of a YouTuber. Let's bring in some other questions from the viewers here. I think this is another one for you there.
Which country has the best food? Okay, so best vegetarian food, I will tell you Rwanda has the best vegetarian food because it's so varied. You don't realize it's vegetarian until afterwards. You're like, oh my God, it's really, really good. But like for me, for traveling, I like French food because it's something I can't cook myself. Something happens with food in France that just makes you go, oh my God, this is so amazing. And I can't do it at home. So I like that. I like Brazilian food. Brazilian food's really good because they have so much. The country of Brazil has so much so many different cultures in there. You can have like big meat things, and you can have acarajé, which is like this bean paste, looks like a potato that they stuff shrimp in, and there's just so many good foods there. Yeah, so I think my favorite one, and of course, you can never go wrong with Italian food. So it's hard to say. There's so much. Obviously, I love all the foods, so I can't say which is the
best. Now, about the food, and knowing Rwanda and the nature, I quickly believe you tested the avocados in Rwanda.
Yes, we did. They were good.
Yes.
Hey, what? Okay, so I'm trying to think of. I can't remember the name of the dish we had. It was like bananas in a red, like maybe a curry sauce or something with peanuts. Maybe I have a picture of it.
Banana and curry sauce. We will just say banana and peanut butter sauce. But
that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That was awesome. That was freaking awesome. That was awesome. So good. Sorry, I'm just like.
No, you just kind of took me back because the food, and also the food is it is really fresh, organic. You may want to point out because didn't you taste like the real carrots? For me, I have trouble to eat vegetables here because I've had the real vegetables. It's always a challenge until I go back to Rwanda and then you eat the vegetable. Like, oh, this is how the real thing tastes.
It's
true.
I don't know. It's true.
And you have not talked about the brochette, the meat, the famous brochette.
Yeah, we had that too. That was good. I'm trying to think what else we had. I have to look at my pictures because my parents take pictures of all the food. So we had all I know is every place we went, Nate, we were like, what's Rwanda? Because a lot of the restaurants we'd go to, they'd have like a European menu, and then there'd be like a Rwandan thing here on the side. And we're like, which one's Rwandan? And we'd always get that every time. So we don't always know what we got. We're like, hey, what's local? And they give it to us.
Thank you for that, because that is another point here that I have seen. You are really for the local food, not like the Western or anything else. You really want to eat local. You want to taste the Rwandan food, and the beer, of course.
Yes.
Let's not forget the beer.
Yeah. So, hey, we're just experimenting with culture. Beer is part of the culture.
Now, I'm not sure if you tried the local banana wine, Uruguagua, we call it.
I don't think I had the banana wine. I had banana beer, but I did not have the banana wine.
Banana beer. Okay. How about the sorghum beer? We call it Marje.
Yeah, we did have that. I had that out. So we were out with our guide, and he would stop at places and be like, "Hey, you should try this." And yeah, I totally forgot we had it, but you're right, we did have that. And then what was the other one we had? Oh, there was some. It wasn't a cookie. Oh, I'll have to think about it. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
So we have Julius Caesar here who's saying, "Love the shirt. I might go there soon." Is that what he's saying? Okay, South Dakota.
Yeah, Waldrug. Yeah, there's it's like a huge place people go to in South Dakota, which is for the U.S. It's really in the middle of nowhere, and so it's just got all this silly things to buy and food and all kinds of stuff. So you're driving through it. I mean, it's like, I mean, if you're there, you've already driven probably 10 hours when you pass. So you're like, I got to stop. And the thing is, they have signs for this place for like 500, 600 kilometers. And they're like, hey, free water, 5-cent coffee, and that's their big joke. And they do have free water and they have 5-cent coffee, and their donuts are really good. So,
because if I believe now, because one question I had was, how has the pandemic affected your travel, your plans in 2020, and now we're moving 2021? Because I think towards the end of the year, I saw you traveling more in the United States.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that's exactly what we did. We stayed home. Then in July, we did a road trip to Georgia. That's about a 16-hour drive for us. All we did was we went to a home, stayed at home, which was near a beach, and that's all we did. We went from the house to the beach, because we were worried. And then we came home, and we felt more comfortable in September. We went for the whole month of September. We went out to the mountains, and we went to Montana and Wyoming, Idaho, South Dakota, Nebraska. We did that. And then in November, we went to Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas, Arkansas. So we basically big road trips so we could kind of control where we were going. So we've done that. And this year we're going to start flying again. But I think probably this year we'll probably fly in the U.S. a few times. Hopefully we'll get to go someplace international in the summer. But I mean, it all depends where we can go and stuff. So we'll see. But yeah, Rwanda would be cool.
Rwanda is open, by the way, and they are getting the vaccines soon. Fingers crossed, they're gonna get the vaccines. I was there in October, and compared to being in America, in Canada, I would prefer to be in Rwanda.
Yeah.
However, now the flying has changed. I think it feels a bit more nicer because you are sitting by yourself and you have some empty seats. So the service, yeah.
Comfortable.
Although that changed rather quickly from flying from Europe to Kenya, then the plane was full, but flying from Canada to Europe, they have all this social distancing happening in the plane. Yeah. So we will have to get used to that. I think we have another question.
Mhm.
Really. But a few comments. Love the shirt. Someone says they love hearing the stories. Uh,
Cool.
and love your videos. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
yours.
It's
Uh,
your videos. Nobody likes my videos. It's your videos.
yeah. Hey, 700,000 followers. They can speak to you that.
They clicked the wrong button. They meant like hi and they hit subscribe. That's all I know.
Can they make the same mistakes as well?
Yeah.
Um, what does EAF mean?
I
I
have
don't
no
know.
idea. I don't know.
Eastern Africa Federation. I think I would guess East. I think they mean East
Oh, is that
Africa.
when like everyone's coming together and then Swahili was going to be the language and that
Yes,
one?
yes. I think they have started, if that's what you meant, because the passport now you can have a one single passport for all those countries in East Africa. It's like a
Oh,
lot. Yeah, so you no longer have just a Rwanda specific or a Kenya specific. You can have an East Africa passport.
that's cool.
So that's kind of starting really. This is a question.
Yeah. So we actually had, I lived 12 years outside the US. My wife and son, oldest, they've lived outside the US. My youngest was born in Portugal. So we always kind of consider moving back abroad. But now that the kids are in school, it's, well, not just like the one's going into high school next year. So it's, if he would want to do like a study abroad for a year while I was in high school, I would be like, hey, you go do that, and then we'll go someplace else and take his little brother with us. But I think once my kids are both out of school, we'll probably try to eventually, live abroad again. So, I mean, I really enjoyed it. The family liked it. It was really good to like really get to know the cultures and the people. But you gotta pay the bills. So
You gotta pay the bills. No, we are definitely seeing a lot of relocation to Rwanda specifically.
okay,
There is this world-renowned interior designer from the USA who has moved to Rwanda.
well, that's
And
cool.
yeah, and I just don't know what is it about Rwanda that is attracting people.
There is
And
nice. I like it. We liked it, so I can see why they want to go.
I mean, it's known that Bill Gates is a frequent visitor. Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. So speaking about the safety and the cleanliness, have you been to? I think you've been to Japan as well.
Yeah.
Because
So
most people,
no, I'll be honest with you. If I look at clean streets, I know like Switzerland has this like, oh, Switzerland is so clean. They've got nothing on Tokyo. And honestly, Kigali, like, well, I mean, I didn't go in the back streets. Like, we were on the main streets and stuff like that. I mean, it was straight up super clean, organized. Like, wow. I mean, it's not all, like Tokyo is all paved in cement, and Kigali isn't, but it still was insanely clean and insanely like organized. At least the parts I saw. So I was impressed because I still remember going around. I'm like, why can't my town look this nice? Like that like for me that shows pride in your country, pride in your family, pride in yourself and stuff, and then it's just like in your country and your community. And I'm like, man, these people are really proud and they're doing a nice job. So that really impressed me.
no, I mean that is true. Because I can even tell you in the back, it's also as clean. And you wake up and they're always cleaning the streets. Even during the lockdown, the people who clean, they were doing just that. However, we also have to mention the policy they've had, such as the plastic bag that's in 2016.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You cannot have plastic bags. That's right. We made sure we did not have any when we were flying in.
Thank
They
you.
actually announced it on the airplane. They're like, hey, no, don't take it. If you have plastic bags, please leave them on the plane.
I had to throw that in. I think someone is saying,
There you go. There you go.
there is Mark has been really great from the beginning to view the videos, to take the time and to give me really great tips, advice. And you were right. You do this. Not only you have to focus on the quality of the sound, as you said, but the passion. You need to have a strong passion in making great content. Mark, I just want to roll a video here, and thank you. I did not ask how long you had, but I just want to finish the video, and then we can ask a few more questions, and then we can wrap up.
Sure.
Um, Here we go.
Or
It
chicken
could be
steak or
anywhere,
something like
right?
that. Yeah.
Curries, just
Yeah.
different foods.
And the food's been great. Lots of vegetarian stuff. It's been
absolutely.
fantastic. But you have a lot of international food, right?
Yeah.
So what you need to do is don't be afraid. This is a mistake I saw a lot of people make. They didn't ask the staff, hey, could we have something Rwandan? They'll be glad to make it for you.
Yesterday at lunchtime, I mean, you need to give them
Some warning.
Yeah, give them a little time to get things prepared. But we asked to talk to this chef who came up, and we said we'd really like to have something Rwandan tonight, blah blah blah. And he's like, hey, how about this? He's like, this is what we all eat all the time. And so we said, that sounds great. He made it. It was a wonderful meal. Super filling.
Yeah, it's like banana, potato, chicken, and a peanut sauce.
Oh, so good. Yeah, but it was really filling.
Yeah.
But we got something that was local, and our kids got to try something that was just exactly what they would eat if they lived here. And to finish off, the last mistake that people make is by not coming to Rwanda. This place has been on my list for years. I finally got here, and it exceeded all of my expectations. And we travel a bit. Rarely does a place exceed what I expect from it the way Rwanda did. It has been over the top. The people are just some of the best in the world. I've cried every day. Every day we've been here because it's been
Such a wonderful experience.
it's the joy. It's just exuberant. The life, everything. I love it. So don't make the mistake of not coming to Rwanda.
Yeah, it's safe, it's fun, the people are great, you got good food, amazing sights in nature, you can't miss out.
I cannot cheerlead this on enough. Come to Rwanda and enjoy every minute of it.
So thank you for watching. I hope we help you not make some mistakes when you come to Rwanda.
Because you're going to come.
You're going to come, you're going to love it.
Yeah.
So enjoy it. We'll say bye from Rwanda.
Bye.
That was amazing, Mark.
I was getting a little hungry there looking at those pictures.
That was amazing. That was a surprise when I saw, like, the last mistake people make is not to visit Rwanda.
On the go.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you and Jocelyn felt that was a mistake that people make?
Well, looking at it, when we would tell people we were going to Rwanda, people were like, well, how can you go there? Genocide, you're going to get killed. They're going to, I mean, like, there was so much negativity directed toward us in comments, and people worried, about it, us going there. And I'm like, it's not that way at all. Like, don't not go here, because people are just like, there's no way you can go there. Like, people are like, no way you can go to these places. I'm like, they get mad that we're taking our kids too. I'm like, it was a wonderful experience. It was a wonderful place. We loved our time there, and we wanted to share it. And I really, because we had gotten so many, like, because we were posting like pictures from on Instagram at that time, and people were getting like, yeah, like they're getting mean in the comments sometimes. Like not a lot of people, a few people, and I'm like, no, we gotta let people know this place, it's legit, it's cool. And so that's why, one of the reasons why we just had such a great time there. We just became really passionate about it. So
thank you. I can still see the passion. So now I can sleep easy, so that my goal, my dream, my vision is really, is really people to see the country, and they will really love they love the people, the nature, and then so on, and the culture, and really think about the continent, Rwanda, as the place you can take your family, your kids.
yeah,
Because you went and your kids had fun and you loved every moment of it. Because even though you are in the United States, you can still go. So the next time someone has question, I'll say, call Mark.
There you go. There you go. I'll tell them it was a good time. We enjoyed ourselves.
And now
So
you need to sort out that trip. Like, does the wife go with the girlfriend first, or
I should just go. I should just go, and then they both lose. And so I'll be the winner.
because in one of my live I did yesterday, it was to talk about Joe Biden now that he's the president and he's
Yeah.
doing I think he was doing some of the travel policies that he's putting in place, and I really wanted to know with him being the new president, because the former guy, he said that our countries are shitholes, so that didn't really help.
Yeah, no, yeah. Rwanda's not. Rwanda's an amazing place. Yeah, no, I don't like when people talk bad about other countries, especially when they haven't been there. That's why we always go wherever we can go, because people can use stereotypes and they can say, "Oh, we can go at 94," and they'll throw that back in your face. Like, have you been there? Go there and see, and you'll see that you know what, Rwanda's a pretty nice place. Good people, good food. Making a better life for themselves, and it's a great place to be. So, I'd be upset if someone said that about my country too.
Absolutely. Mark, I just want to share something from your website,
Mhm.
because I mean, our viewers should see where you've been. It's not just, I believe this is where you've been. Do you see? I'm just gonna bring it in. Is this where you've been?
Oh yeah, well these wow, I need to update the website. So that's from a few years ago. So that's all the videos and or not the like videos and blogs we had that we've made. We've been to more places, but I tried to make a list of all the places so people want to go. I obviously see I need to update the website.
Yes, no, but I mean, still though, but these are the places you've been because there are really a lot of countries. So essentially, my question is, do you get tired of traveling after
No, I
seven?
do not. It's funny. Like I will go and maybe after like 10 weeks, I'll come home and be like, oh, I'm tired. But then after like 2 days, I'm like, when's the next trip? Like my wife will tell you, like we'll be flying home from a trip and I'll already be like planning the next one. Like, when are we gonna go again? She's like, we just got home. I'm like, yeah, but I found this great deal to Italy or Australia. So thanks, Troy.
So
So
we will see more. All right, there's a comment there. Yeah, Troy.
yeah,
They,
thanks, Troy.
yeah, you know this more than I do, because when you do your chats, you always have like screen full of
Yeah.
comments, and you can scan through them. Now, so on the final note, would you have any last word or words? Um, any last thoughts? Anything
Yeah.
on travel, on culture, and
Well, I think for all of us, it's been a year without travel or very little travel or just domestic travel. Just know that we'll all be traveling again soon. You just got to be smart about it, and if you feel comfortable traveling, go for it. If you don't feel comfortable traveling, don't do it. Know the restrictions, know what you can and can't do, and just make sure you have a lot of patience with yourself, but also with the people you're working with, because you have so many people that lost their jobs. There's so many less people trying to help you at an airline, at a restaurant, at a hotel. That just have patience and have empathy for people, because a lot of people have lost their jobs and their livelihoods. And so if we can get out and travel and put some money out in the economy and help people, let's go and do it. But you got to do it when you feel comfortable doing it. So be safe, travel safe, and have a great time. And when you do travel, make sure you try to meet the locals, because honestly, that's the best part for me for traveling, is just meeting the people for where we go. So thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
no, thank you. Because as you were speaking, I could see in the back you have that YouTube the milestone there, and that's gonna be the goal. So anybody who is watching, I'm just gonna throw in this last comment from Kanyoni here. What is he saying? And then we can. Um, I think Philip Cotton, because now you can definitely get a Rwandan passport. So yeah, thank you for the last comments. For anyone who have watched us until now, thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Until travel to Rwanda, we are trying to do the virtual. We did one on the lake a few days ago, so please then go and watch, and you can see Rwanda through our eyes. And Mark, I hope we can have you again on the
Of
platform.
course, feel free. Feel free.
And Jocelyn,
Buddy, hey, you got to get me some recipes because we could not find a Rwandan recipe book. And Jocelyn wants to make some for her cooking channel. She wants to make some Rwandan recipes because we had some really good food, but we couldn't find any recipes. So
I will. Or
yeah.
maybe we'll put up a live cooking Rwandan.
There you go. Well, send me a link, dude.
I like to do it myself.
Oh, cool. Cool.
So, I mean, for anyone, again, please subscribe. And if you don't follow Walter, please go and follow him as well. I will leave the link in the comment. We say in Kinyarwanda, Murakoze.
Murakoze. That's
Murakoze.
right.
And
thanks, buddy. You have a good one. Thank you for everything. Everybody have a great day. Have a great weekend.
Absolutely. Yes. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye. The viewers as well. Thank you.
Bye, buddy.